Welcome back, everybody. From children's book authors to the Central Iowa Shelter and Services. We have some fabulous guests here this morning. Kendrew Penyenabong, did I do that right?
Yeah.
All right. And Melissa O'Neill joining us this morning. You guys have a great program that you want to talk about that's going to be kicking off here for the summer months. So let's hear what do we have to look forward to?
Well, I think this is such a blessing. Going into springtime, we weathered the storm through the winter, and now the sun is shining, right?
Yeah.
So this is where we get an opportunity to highlight one of our great job training programs at CISS, where we actually go out and provide food in our community to low-income neighborhoods where people would otherwise have to choose between putting food on the table for their kids through the summer months or paying rent.
Right.
But it's our job training program that will actually put close to 20 individuals inside our facility at CISS back to work. They get back to being able to pay their own way and rebuild self-sufficiency.
Now, is this more for individuals, or we're looking at families? You know, kids are out of school and they might be relying on the school for the meals that they're having throughout the day, and now that's not there. Is it kind of supplementing that, or we're looking at
Actually, you just nailed it. That's exactly what it is. So school's out, and one of the big things we know from our background is kids oftentimes fear spring break, Christmas break, and summer break because they don't know where their next meal is coming from. They become codependent on the school for breakfast, lunch, dinner. And so what our program actually does is supplement that through the summer months. And it's just a great opportunity for the individuals within our facility who have received so much support from our community to be able to give back themselves, and they do that through that job training program.
Wow. Okay, so how do they
That's
become a
great.
part of that? Because I love that you're giving some education aspect there as well, so they can continue forward in an amazing way. How does that work? How do they become a part of that?
Yeah, so it really just starts with individuals who come into our facility. Oftentimes, when the leading cause is because they've lost work. They've lost some sort of employment. Now, there could be some peripheral reason as to why that happens with mental health or substance abuse, but the reality is that they do want to work.
Okay.
And so they just simply raise their hand and they say, I want to work. And we, being a low barrier employer, put them back to work in one of our 3 job training programs. Kitchen's just one of those 3. Our Mulberry Farm and Food, we produce all the food and vegetables that go into the kitchen.
Wow,
so the
that's
farm is the
great.
second one, and then we have a janitorial program. So this is where they have an opportunity to learn the skills that we know our restaurant and service industries are asking for
Right.
to help fill their employment gap, and give them the hands-on work, and we start teaching those soft skills to help overcome some of the barriers that led to their unemployment.
That's amazing. Let's talk about the meals that are served on a regular basis with this wonderful organization.
Yeah, I mean, we know that there's a correlation between food and behavior. We want to make sure that not only for our clients, but for the kids that we're serving, that they're being fed a nutritious and filling meal to play harder and move longer and kind of get through their day. I mean, everyone deserves a nutritious meal, and being able to afford the opportunity for our job trainees really to, gaining meaningful work experience, but as well as just being able to provide just a healthy meal is awesome.
Absolutely.
And is this a program you guys have been doing every summer, or is this fairly, because last summer you did this and it's growing?
It is growing. It's growing leaps and bounds, right? So we've actually had what's called a community kitchen program where we've served meals year round for the last 7 years. Since the community came together to build the building we're in today, we've been providing meals at other sites 12 months out of the year. Last year, though, was the first time that really our community came together and we really identified this need in what's called food deserts. And so we went around and really stepped up and went from 5 meals to 16 meals last year sites to now 19 meal sites this summer. And we have way more demand. And so we're really looking at what our tipping point is and where we can help other nonprofits who have job training programs also stand in that gap in their own neighborhood.
That's amazing. Going up to 19 sites. Where can we find those sites? Is there a location to know where they're located?
Yeah, so we have a map that's going to be on our website, and it's a page designated just for the summer meal program, so folks know where to go and where these meal sites are located right in their own neighborhoods.
And it kind of looks like you're spread all out over the metro, so you're really hitting all the neighborhoods that might need some assistance.
We are. What we do is we look at the census tracts, and we're looking where there's 180 to 200% of poverty and where there are no other food pantries or meal sites offered. And so where you see on the map are we've highlighted and pinpointed those areas where there's the biggest gap within our community. There is absolutely opportunity for us to expand even further west. I think that's a misnomer, but we do absolutely have children who are hungry all across Polk County and central Iowa, and that's one of the things that our team is really focusing on is where is that gap where there's no meal site, no food pantry. And again, I go back to the beautiful part is our job trainees are the ones out there serving the meals. They're the ones that are actually giving back so they can see what it is to have purpose in your work.
It's like a full circle opportunity here. And I want to make sure everybody knows that these meals are provided at no cost to participants with no one being turned away, which is meaning for us to support you guys to make sure that this can keep forging on to go from 19 meal sites to even more and beyond. So how can we do that? How can we support you in this effort?
Well, we have this really awesome kickoff happening on May 18th, the very first one of 3. It's at the Southside YMCA. They're going to be everything from, I believe, bounce houses and music, and some of our other nonprofit partners through United Way of Central Iowa will be present. But this is really the first way. Come out there, get involved, and just help as Iowans. That's the one thing I would say as a kid growing up in small town. It was always about helping that next person up. And I think so many of your viewers today can do that as well. And we could obviously use more vegetables and fruits. So if you're planting your garden right now, please throw in an extra tomato plant for CISS, throw in some extra cucumbers, throw in some extra squash. We absolutely will take those vegetables and fruits that you get tired of in your own garden, bring them down, and our kitchen will put them to good use in one of our summer meal programs.
Oh, I love that idea.
That's great to know.
I love that. Okay, if we want more details on all the great work that you're doing, where's the best place to go?
Yeah, go to our website at centraliowashelter.org or our Facebook page. That's where our main channels are. So you guys want more information?
I was going to say, you're great about getting those posts out there and letting people know what you're doing. Yeah, I know you're doing a wonderful work there. But in just a conversation this morning, what would you say about the hunger that we have in our state? We feel like we're very blessed as Iowans and we have a profitable community, but obviously there's others out there that are just suffering to find their next meal. What would you say about that in that area?
Yeah, I think we as a community oftentimes we neglect the fact that we have individuals, it takes a lot of courage to step up and say I need help. It takes a lot of courage. When you look at where people come to our food pantries, it's not in their own neighborhood. They usually are embarrassed to go in their own backyard and ask for help, and so they scatter to all these other sites.
Right.
I think one of the biggest things is hunger and homelessness, hunger and healthcare, they go hand in hand with one another. So don't take for granted the lunch that you have this afternoon, but recognize that you have someone in your community who may even be afraid of stepping up and saying they need help and support, and might even go without food today. So just, again, those extra vegetables and fruits that you plant in your own garden, don't forget you may have a neighbor next door that could use them as well.
I love that.
Great.
That's a great way of ending this.
How
Thank
do
you
you
both.
get them? What would be the best way to get them to know about these programs?
Yeah.
The resources that are available to them in a way that
Yep.
is
So I'll give a
entertaining.
really quick shout out to our friends at United Way. They have a program called 211. No judgment, just make the call, right? And 211 will help get people connected to resources all across the community. It could be job training, it could be housing and homelessness, it could be food related. There are a plethora of things that United Way really helps all of us come together on, and 211 is one of those. So if you are out there and you're hungry or you're not sure where your rent's coming from, get a hold of 211. Just know that there are people that love you in the community that want to help.
Yeah, Iowans coming
great.
together, but it helps when there's amazing organizations like this leading the way. CISS, check them out on website, Facebook page, and you can give back in a big way as well. Thank you both for joining us.
Great.